I think we're good. We're recording. We got Dante in the back. Welcome to another ASMR video. What is up, guys? Thaddeus here. Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be taking a little step away from the normal e-commerce talk and going over a few different revenue streams that I think are different than what most other videos that talk about, passive income and just revenue streams to be starting. And I think, I'll end this video with my prediction as well as to a brand new revenue, not a brand new, but a relatively new market that I think is going to pop off this year as well. Okay, but I have 5 revenue streams for you guys that essentially are passive. Right now, before I even get into this, right, I want to clarify with you the definition of passive income or passive revenue streams. Right now, I'm not going to be covering anything like putting your money in some index funds or fucking 3% Robinhood account or a savings account that pays 1% interest every year. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about in terms of passive revenue. Right now, with actual passive revenue streams, right, what you need to consider is what's passive. Right, passive is when you are eliminated from the equation or from the business model, when you are eliminated from it, and even by being apart from this project, from this business, it still continues to generate revenue. Okay, now there's a few different ways to do this. Now I think the most common way is just to put your money somewhere, right, and have it generate some form of interest, compound interest or return on equity and stuff like that, where it's truly passive, where you kind of put some money up front and you set it aside. Now, that's not really what I'm going to be talking about in this video, because I think there's too many videos talking about that particular stuff. So if you want that,
this is not the video for you.
Okay, sorry. Now, what I'm talking about is businesses, okay? Because frankly, I think a lot of you guys watching, right, you aren't looking to put $2 million in cash into an index fund, or $2 million in cash into a multifamily 62 apartment real estate venture. That's not what you're trying to do, most likely. Okay, what I'm going to talk about is businesses that you can make passive, okay, given a certain amount of work. Now, this is really if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. It's not too complicated. I'll break down each one and kind of what I would do if I was going to start one as well. Okay, so I'm gonna try and give you guys the easiest or the most clear path for each of these, and trying to get that kind of going for you guys. Okay, now first one I want to talk about, right, I haven't seen really anyone talk about this, and I see it happening a lot with a few people in the industry, not necessarily the e-commerce industry, but just business and social media in general. But to start a white labeled SaaS business. Okay, now if you have no idea what SaaS is, it's software as a service. Basically is what it stands for, right? Is you're doing some sort of service, or service as a subscription. There's people call it different things. Basically what it is it's a website, it's a program, it's a software that offers a service and usually charges a monthly subscription. Okay, now that's what makes it recurring. Okay, and eventually can make it passive for you, the business owner. Okay, how do you actually do that? What am I talking about? With a white labeled SaaS, right? You have no idea what I mean. Well, there's a lot of different ways or industries a white label SaaS can be. And now the one that I would suggest you to start, right, because you're on social media, you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, you're on all this kind of stuff, is actually an Instagram growth SaaS or white labeled SaaS. Okay, what am I talking about? Well, I've seen people do it. I had one years ago, guys. Okay, what do I mean by a white label SaaS Instagram growth service? Well, as you guys are probably familiar, or may or not be familiar, there's Instagram growth services, okay, or Instagram bots. Some of them are really, really crappy. Some of them are complete shit. But there are some decent ones that that can actually help grow your account and stuff like that. Now, what some people have done, some people have been smart enough to do, right, is they'll sell you some form of growth service, right? They might guarantee followers. That's usually the giveaway, that they're using an actual bot and not actually growing your account organically. Okay, so don't get me confused. This is not basically an organic growth tool. It's using an account, having it automated to gain more exposure and more eyeballs, right? Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sort of frowned down upon, but there's a lot of people that want that. There's a lot of people that do it. The market is literally in the millions, okay? So there's a lot of money in that industry. Now, what some people will do, right, who are literally white labeling this SaaS, is they guarantee a certain amount of followers for a certain amount of, a dollar amount per month. Like, oh, if you give us, $59.99 per month, you're guaranteed 300 followers a month minimum, more exposure, more sales for your store, whatever it is. Like, these are marketing things that you can use for this, okay? Now, the way I would go about it, right? Because there are certain programs that you can buy for a one-time fee, and then you can add a bunch of accounts onto it, and as you grow your SaaS, right, and get more subscriptions, you can grow that back end, right, which is what you'll be managing. Now there are also little apps, right? This is why I call it white labeling, because essentially you're going to sell it as your own brand, but you're using something else as a backend, okay? So you don't have to worry about coding or actual software or knowing, things, how to fix bugs and stuff like that. You don't need a dev team, okay? Like I have a software dev team, but that's for actual softwares and codes and problems that arise because we're running our own systems, okay? But you don't have to worry about any of that. You're just white labeling a program, okay? This can be anything. It doesn't have to be Instagram growth, okay? So again, just be creative. This is just one idea that someone will take watching this video and start making $10,000 a month. Now, all you have to do, right, you charge a monthly subscription. Usually there's multiple tiers, like 3 tiers. That's what we had in my very old one, and different sort of rates, okay? Usually different rates usually guarantee more followers because there's more activity per hour, okay? Now, in these back-end programs, they do a certain amount of actions per hour, right? They might follow a certain number of accounts per hour. They might unfollow a certain number of accounts per hour. They might like a certain number of photos, right, per hour. And more activity usually gets more exposure, right? That's how Instagram bots work, okay? Now, that's basically what you're going to be selling. Now, it's just how you sort of brand it and do that marketing angle, which is going to determine how well you actually sell it. Now, the way to make this passive, right, to actually have you off of the business, which again is very easy to do. It's going to take work up front, right? Most things that are worthwhile take a lot of work anyways, okay? So get used to it if you want to make money. Now, the way I would do this, right, is you can either find a VA or you can train someone locally. Or literally just don't be scared. Like, go on Upwork, go on somewhere, find someone online that's willing to learn and be a virtual assistant. What they can do is, right, like, once you have a website, you go to Squarespace, okay, and make a website on there. That's where you'll have your SaaS, okay? Then I would use Moonclerk, okay? Like, guys, I'm literally handing the business model over to you. We're not even on the rest of these. Like, we're 10 minutes in. I'm still talking about number one. Fuck. Ow. Fucking kicked my shoe. So basically, right, I would probably make a website with Square, okay, not Shopify. This is not something you do with Shopify. You could use WordPress. I mean, you could use, any sort of like Webflow, any of those web development sites, right? But Squarespace is probably the simplest and easiest way to get something to the market. Now, I would also use Moonclerk as your information intake form, because people are going to have to fill out info about their account to give to you to run the actual bot or the automation, okay? Moonclerk is what I would use. I would connect Moonclerk to Stripe as your backend payment processor, all right? And together, I would embed the Moonclerk form that they fill out on your Squarespace site on the actual payment page after they've clicked whatever tier they want, okay? Then they get the Moonclerk embedded page, fill out the information, do the payments, all done, process is done. Now, the way to automate the marketing side of things, right? So that's the site backend, okay? To actually onboard users and have someone managing that's where you get a VA or an employee or someone familiar with this, or someone just willing to do it that you can pay $10 an hour, whatever it is, to onboard people and get their account set up in the back end of things to start running the automation. Okay, now how would I automate the actual marketing, the traffic generation and stuff like that? I would actually start an affiliate side of things for this Instagram growth company. Okay, so I'd have an affiliate program. You could use Tapfiliate, okay, Lead Dino, there's 2 right there. So use some that work phenomenal. I'm not gonna try. Those 2 work great. Okay, you can set like any of those up, okay, on your website, on your Squarespace. You can have an affiliate sign up page, right? And then this is where it takes a little bit of work up front, right? You're gonna have to do cold outreach. You're gonna have to reach out to influencers, to people in your niche if you're targeting a specific niche, which I would probably advise to do, not just a general one, just because there's way too many. Again, it's like e-commerce, dropshipping, stuff like that. You want to target a specific market and advertise that too. But I would do some cold outreach to a bunch of influencers, get them signed on as affiliates, offer them a 50% commission, recurring commission, right? So then they're more enticed to start, promoting your stuff. And again, they promote it for free. So you're getting free traffic in exchange for giving them a cut of every single sale per month, because they got that customer for you. You didn't have to pay anything up front to get the customer, okay? So really, the only thing you're really paying for up front is the Squarespace site, which again you get a free trial from, the Moonclerk thing, which you also get a free trial for, Tapfiliate or Lead Dynamo, which they usually give free trials as well. So you're really just paying to get everything live, okay? And that's the gist of it. You can get free traffic from affiliates. You can do all this kind of stuff. Guys, that's just the task you can do. And again, it's recurring. Every single month, every single client is paying monthly. And all you need to do is make sure that your bot is actually working and is doing its job, okay? That's really that. Now, oh my God, we went 11 minutes deep for the very first revenue stream. But I mean, again, guys, that's an entire business model that I just handed over to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to leave a like, by the way, because I think that's pretty deserving of a goddamn like, okay? Now, next one. Okay, I'll try to go quicker over the rest of these, okay? But niche websites, okay, is the second, revenue stream that you can make passive. Now, this is a lot more passive and a little bit less work to get started than a white labeled SaaS, but niche websites are basically, you're going to start a website, right? Squarespace, whatever it is, have blog posts, okay? This is where you'll probably spend, 3 to 5 days grinding on your laptop, writing these blogs and articles about a specific market, a very, very targeted market, okay? Like how to remove chest hairs, like stupid things like that, okay? Like very, very targeted blog posts that target a very specific issue that people would be searching for, right? If they're insecure about a problem, or if they're, whatever it is, they would be searching for it. Now, what you're going to do is write a bunch of blog posts. Well, again, before you start writing blog posts, right, you want to verify the market. So figure out what you're thinking of making this niche website about. Okay, maybe it's like chest hair removal, right? Like, I don't even know why I thought of that, but that's what we're going to go with. So if that's what you're thinking about, you're going to go and do some research and see if these keywords are strong, right? See if there's a lot of competition for them. Okay, like if there's 100 other blogs writing about how to remove chest hair, like it's going to be a little challenging trying to land on the first page of Google or something that organically. So there's a few things you have to like do beforehand, but once you have validated that idea, you make a website, you write a few blog posts, and you need to validate that there are affiliate programs or affiliate products, or even Amazon as a last resort. I know their affiliate program isn't super strong. It's all right. You need to find something to advertise to these people that are coming to you with an issue. Like they have a problem, you need to offer a product to solve it. Okay, does that make sense? It's very easy to do. It's a lot less work than the first one, but that's something that you can finish in a week and then never touch again, and have it be generating you profits every single month. And all you're paying is for is hosting. So it's like $10 a month, right? To actually do that. So again, very cheap way. You can make a lot of money. You can make thousands of dollars a month. 2 to 3K. Fairly decently, as long as you're placed properly online and you're driving traffic. Now this does require a little bit of copywriting and some nice word moves, but once you do that, that's pretty goddamn passive. Okay, now the next one I want to talk about, all right, is a white labeled social media marketing agency, right? So like as you guys can see, I think a lot of these passive revenue streams, right, that a lot of people are looking for, right, that don't have a crazy startup cost, anything like that, right? Which is what I'm trying to do for you guys, is give you guys a few relatively cheap ways to get started in this, right? Is a white labeled social media marketing agency. And I think that is something that, because again, like I feel like everyone and their mom is trying to dropship, and everyone and their fucking uncle is owns a fucking I'm swearing a lot, sorry, owns a marketing agency, right? A social media marketing agency. Now what you can do is you don't need to have a huge background in Facebook ads and all this kind of stuff to own one. Not at all. Okay, there are companies, I think there's one called Vendasta or something. Okay, you can Google that. That's just one for example. Like there are a bunch that will literally white label it for you. Like they'll handle all the ads, they'll do all the ad creative, they'll send your clients weekly, daily, monthly analytic reports that are custom generated to your clients. Like they can handle the entire backend, guys, and all you have to do is drive traffic, get clients. Okay, and how do you automate that? Well, you can have a VA train them, or get a script made, right, which takes a little bit of time. That's it, like an email script. Get a VA, all right, and then they can source and email 40 different companies every single day, 40 different local restaurants, 40 different local bars, like whatever it is, like as long as you can pay them $10 an hour to do a bunch of outreach for you that you don't have to do yourself. And again, if you don't have the money, but you have the time, then obviously you'll start off doing it yourself, land a few clients, and then invest that money to grow the business. There's a lot of ways you can do this, guys. My laptop just went to sleep. Now the other thing that you want to be aware of, because even with this, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's very passive, right? Like this could honestly be a one-man gig for yourself when you're just referring clients to the actual back end, right? Because they usually handle all the onboarding, all the questions, setting up, connecting their Facebook ad accounts, like all that kind of stuff, right? So all you're doing is driving traffic. Now, I think with some of these white labeled companies in the back end, they tend to charge, sort of like a steep monthly retainer. But again, that's a one-time payment a month. That's not, so like, let's put price in comparison, right? So for example, they might charge you $800 a month. All right. You're gonna be like, what the $800? But think about this. That's $800 a month, right? They're white labeling all your stuff. Okay. You can close one client for $3,000 a month, even $1,000 a month. Okay. You can close that. The second you have one client, you're technically profitable. The second you have two, you're already making what, an extra $1,500 a month, whatever it is. All right. Depending on whatever you charge, whatever you close them for, like that's not bad, guys, especially for not doing any of the back end, not handling any of the back end, just sending over clients to an agency that basically acts as yours. That's not bad, guys. That's pretty passive once you figure that out. Okay. Now the other one I want to talk about, right, is starting a YouTube channel. Now, is this passive, right? No, like my YouTube channel is not passive. I have to make videos myself. I can make it more passive by like, oh, I have an editor, I have a thumbnail maker, like whatever that is, which I don't have an edit, or I don't have a thumbnail editor right now. I've seen you guys' comments. But how do you actually make a YouTube channel passive, guys? There's a lot of YouTube, like, have you guys ever just browsed YouTube and ended up in the corners, the far corners of YouTube, watching random, you're watching, like, who knows what, right? Like top 10 NFL interceptions, like whatever it is, guys. There's people that curate content by just grabbing popular things or trendy things, or doing that. Like they make videos without their face on it that have all this kind of stuff, and they upload them, and then they get a lot of views, or they go viral, whatever it is, and they make money from that. They make, they generate AdSense, ad revenue from that. And you're like, how is this passive? Well, it can be very passive. You find a video editor, you find a thumbnail maker, you can even find someone to go and look for content for all this kind of stuff, and you can just have yourself a freaking YouTube content generating account business all by yourself without doing anything, guys. Again, it usually takes work to get started up, right? You might have to do some of this stuff yourself when you first start, but they're all able to be made passive. And I think that's the biggest part, is like, if you're looking for something that's passive right off the bat, that's cheap, it's not going to make you a lot of money. That's the dead, like, that's the truth. Okay. Now, if you're willing to put in work and set up these flows and processes and, delegate or automate and do all this kind of stuff, like, eventually you can have a giant beast of a business that is completely automated, because, you've set up this process, you've set up this flow, you have this software doing this specific automation, you have these VAs doing this, and this employee doing this. Like, you have a whole team, and you're passive. Like, you're not on it. Like that's my goal with every business I start, is to trying to get myself fired from it as soon as I start. Like, my goal is to, like, cut myself off from the business and still have it generate revenue, still have it make me money that I can put in my pocket every week and spend it on whatever I want. So that's the goal, and that should be your guys' goal as well. Okay, going into business. Even Dante agrees. Look at that fucker. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's basically the video, guys. I know we're basically creeping up on like 20 minutes now, but it'll probably be like 15 or 16 or something after editing. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like, guys. I really tried to, like, at least kind of break down these potential revenue streams for you guys, and kind of give you guys some insight into, like, what I would actually do if I was going to start something like this, and kind of just give you guys some more knowledge on sort of the back end of some of these businesses, because I've had a little bit of experience, or I've seen some of, like, how these big industry guys work stuff, and I want to give you guys a chance to do the exact same and make a lot of money, right? So I'm out here changing lives, baby. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe if you guys are new, and don't forget to comment, guys. I respond to everyone's comments, when they comment in, like, the first 48 hours, because people complain that I don't respond like 6 months later. Now, that's the video, guys. Links in description for basically everything or anything I really talk about, my Instagram, my social medias, all that kind of fun stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, double watch gang. I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoots.
You